If you noticed over the years, most of your local news outlets, especially in major cities, refuse to show a black man and black woman giving the news together on the same camera. It's like the small hat Blue Jays, the media that they basically control don't want to show the public two black couples as news anchors. Because one, it's like, in my opinion, I think it's a conditioning process for young black minds early, basically to condition them on some race mixing type of shit. And then I think the second reason the small hat media, the Blue Jay media, doesn't want to show two black news anchors giving the news together is the public has fear of stable black productive families and couples. I mean, for them, for the media to continue to do this, and you see it, pay close attention, you'll see it throughout the local cities on their news stations when they're giving the news. Whenever there's a black person, there's always going to be another person of a different race, of the opposite gender. It's never two black couples getting the news. And even trying to search for some, I was trying to search for pictures like of two black news anchors, male and female, together giving the news. They don't do that. And I think it's based mainly on, one, it's conditioning, like I said earlier, and two, the public fears and the media fears stable black families. They like seeing dysfunction in black America, and they like seeing the projection of race mixing. Now, in my opinion, I don't think, I'm gonna take that back, because see, the images that the media gives off, the Blue Jays, the small hats control, and it's not the majority of white people. So you may see white people on these commercials and television and shit, but understand it's the small hats that are promoting it. So in actuality, you may think all white people support this shit, when in reality, it's not all white people. And then on the flip side, a white person watching this, they'll think a black person supports this, but in reality, it's not all black people. So at the end of the day, man, I think that the media has their own agenda and their own objective. And it's up to black folks to voice their opinions in opposition to it. If you sit back and don't say nothing, they're going to assume that you go along with it. Logically, that's what they're going to think. They're going to think that, hey, you go along with it, it's all good, and you don't have to worry about, your image or projecting an image of, stable black families or stable black couples. For the media to not invite, two black news anchors into people's homes, it shows you that America has a fear of stable black families. It really does. Pay close attention to the local news stations. I'm serious. Whenever a person is given the news, there will always be the non-black person right there. And it seems like we're looking for validation, or that's the message that it sends off. And it's also, they want to condition young minds early into, thinking, black minds early into thinking that, hey, it's okay, everything is post-racial, when in reality, most whites haven't even had contact with black people in this country. I'm going to say that again. In most of the states in this country, especially in the middle of the country, most whites haven't even had contact with blacks. But watching these news outlets where they have these different news anchors of different races together, it gives off this false notion that we're all post-racial and everybody gets along. Nah, man, it's not even that. Listen, if you cool with a white person, or if you date a white person or Asian, Hispanic person, you're cool with that person. You're not cool with all white people. And that's the fucking mistake a lot of us get. Just because you're cool with this white person at your job or at the fucking gym, don't mean you're going to be cool with the next white person 80 miles down the street that you run into at the supermarket. I mean, you're only cool with the non-black person that you're cool with. A lot of us get this mentality that, hey, just because we're cool with one Hispanic person or one white person or Asian person, we're cool with all fucking Hispanic and Asian people in the fucking area. It don't work that way. You're just cool with that one non-black person, and that's how you should look at it. Hold on, I'm gonna do something. Hold on, I gotta take care of something. All right, yeah, I mean, I just had to get that part clear because a lot of black folks think just because they're cool with somebody that's not black that they're cool with everybody within that one racial group. It don't work that way, man. Also, at the end of the day, you're gonna have to figure out what images you want to see as a black person. I mean, regardless of how uncomfortable it makes other people feel. It seems like the fear of the image of productive black men and women, it's basically obvious when it comes to delivering the news. It's obvious. That's why they don't show it in your local cities. It seems like it's a fear of the imagery of productive black men and women anchoring the news together. Ask yourself and then think about that. Whenever you're watching these news stations and a black person is giving the news at that anchor desk, there's never two black couples of the opposite gender. It's never. It also, and like I said before, it also puts misleading messages to black folks and white folks, other folks, that all whites are open to black people and all black people are open to white people. It really does, man. I'm telling you, dude. I'm not trying to make it seem as if all whites are racist or all non-blacks are racist. I'm just letting you know that yes, we all have good relationships with white people, Hispanic people, and different races of people. But that means we're only good with those people. That don't mean that you're cool with the next white person. Remember this shit, because at the end of the day, this seems like validation, that black folks need validation. That's why we don't say nothing and we just sit back and watch these news outlets represent and reflect something that don't even resemble or make up the majority of black America. I mean, most black America are not made up of mixed couples. And I'm not even saying that you can't even date outside your race. Fucking go ahead. I don't care about that shit. All I'm saying is that when it comes down to representing the image of black folks on television, or, yeah, in particular in this case, television, it should be represented positively and accurately. And showing these different news anchors across the country that don't even basically represent the true black America is awful. I mean, think about this shit, man. And this is why, again, I believe black folks should have our own media outlets, controlling our own image. I mean, the question is going to be, do you want to project the image of black couples, productive black couples? I mean, or not. I mean, that's what it's going to come down to across the media outlets. Because the media currently right now, like I said, is being controlled by the Blue Jays. And they have their own agenda. And their agenda is basically imagery. And imagery can be used either against you or for your best benefit. In this case, the media is being used against black Americans. And when your children are being exposed to this, you have to sit your kids down and talk to them, because this is mainly about conditioning the younger minds of black children watching these TV shows and these news channels. So again, talk to your kids about what they see on television, about the news anchor. Tell them that it's an agenda being played. But at the same time, you want your kids to maintain their innocence. And you should want them to maintain their innocence. Because at the end of the day, they should be able to grow up without being exposed to psychological warfare. But be honest and tell them what's going on. Because at some point, they are going to know and figure out what was going on. And they're going to wonder why you did not hip them to the game or explain to them. Imagine 50 years from now. Yeah, 50 years from now, what if your great-great-grandkids find out that black Americans from 1965, after Jim Crow, to 2000, let's say 30 or 50, were under a huge psychological warfare campaign? What if that comes out? You know how, like, right now, like in the past, like 2000, like in the past two, right now we look at history and we find out that there was the Tuskegee experiment, and we find out all the cruel shit that was taking place back between 1900 and 1965. We know what was going on. We know the shit that our ancestors and grandparents were subjected to. So just fast forward and think about your great-great-grandkids. When they look at the history books and they see that the black Americans from 1965 up until 2030 or whatever, 2050, were under psychological warfare through the media, through television, through hip-hop. And we didn't do nothing about it but just take that shit. You don't want the history books to say that. And that's why you just can't sit back and allow, these media outlets to go ahead and continue to perpetuate and show these images. Because when you sit back and don't say nothing, it looks like we want their validation. And I mean, do you want or do you need white validation to make you feel better? Do you need that? Those are the questions you got to ask yourself, man. Because at the end of the day, man, it's going to come down to whether or not you want to project productive, stable black families and couples on television. And there should be letters written to these local news stations in your city, in your town, telling them that you don't want to see this fucking, you don't want to see these, you don't want to see black news anchors always coupled with other races of people, because it's a part of a psychological warfare campaign for kids. And two, you want to see your own fucking image. What the fuck? It's like, do you need to see this? Do you need to see white folks and black folks giving the news to make you feel good or something? Does it? I just don't understand that shit. But yeah, man, that's gonna be my video. I just had to get that off my mind because I was just thinking about that shit. I'm like, I'll be watching cause I don't like watching local news, but sometimes I'm just flicking through the channels, and whenever there's a black person giving the news as an anchor, there's never two black couples. And it goes to show you that the public fears this shit. The public fears it. And the small hat Blue Jays have an agenda. And we keep letting these Blue Jays, these small hats off the hook as black Americans. They over there in New York, they're going to depopulate the black parts of New York. The Blue Jays are fucking deep. The Blue Jays that those rappers made rich in New York, all right, are depopulating most of those black areas right as we speak. All your major cities right now that are being gentrified by Democrats, in particular Blue Jays, small hats. These are supposed to be black allies. I'm serious, think about that shit. These are the folks that black folks that we don't say nothing about because they're supposed to be our allies. These are the motherfuckers that are gentrifying parts of fucking New York. These are the motherfuckers raising your rent. These aren't white conservatives. No, these are white hippies, Blue Jays, fucking small hats. The ones you call liberal, the ones that are... That's who's gentrifying your fucking neighborhoods. So the next time you hear black folks talking about gentrification, yada, 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 remind them, these are the small hat Blue Jays that are gentrifying their neighborhoods. These are the fucking white hippies that they believe in, that are gentrifying them, that are fucking up their image on television and in the media. That's who's doing it. So when are we as black Americans going to talk about the small hats doing this shit? That's when you're going to see them give concessions. That's when you're going to see them change. But as long as we just sit back and allow this shit, They're going to think we're okay with it. They're going to think that we quietly, secretly hate ourselves and we enjoy seeing two different races, a black news anchor and a white news anchor together. We don't say nothing about it. I mean, think about it. What other racial group would tolerate that? Who would tolerate always seeing their race with another different race on the news station every fucking time? Now, if it's once in a while, fine. But when you're doing this shit consistently, you have an agenda. You have an agenda. But, yeah, I gotta go. And oh yeah, before I do go, this touches on another part. The reason why I don't got a lot of respect for those black folks in those Spanish countries. Because, see, you look at those Spanish news stations, they have European Hispanics giving them the news. When those folks, those news anchors giving the news don't even reflect the population they're giving the news to. So you got these brown Hispanics taking their news, all their news and their television shows are coming from fucking European Hispanic speaking motherfuckers. This is why you can't really respect, this is why I don't have too much respect for those Spanish speaking folks coming from those Spanish countries. Because they haven't even created their own niche to where, like, alright, even if we aren't the majority of this country, we still want our news and our information given to us by us and from folks that look like us, at the very least. And if you're going to be hosting the fucking our image, at least host it and promote it the right way with stable black couples. But I'm done. I'm out.
Feel me? I think niggas is trying to kill me. Picturing pistols, spitting hollow points till they drill me. Keeping it real, and even if I do conceal my criminal thoughts, preoccupied with keeping still. See niggas is false, sitting in court, turn snitches. They used to be real, but now they petrified bitches. I'm trying to be strong. They sending armies out to bomb me. Listen to Ron, the only DJ that can calm me. Constantly armed, my firepower keep me warm. I'm trapping the storm, and fuck the world till I'm gone. Bitches be warned, word is born, you'll get torn. I'm busting on Giuliani, he rubbing my niggas wrong. And in this song, before I leave, picture me, I'm spitting that pump, bitches and hustling to be free. Watch me set it, niggas don't want it, you can get it, bet it, make these jealous niggas mad, I said it. This thug life, nigga, we don't cater to you hoes. Fuck with me, have 100 motherfuckers at your door with 4 foes. Yeah, nigga. Thug life, thug life, thug life.
I'm hard. Jehovah said I'm barred from the pearly gates. Fuck 'em. I didn't want to go to heaven anyway. But my mama got me on my knees with my hands gripped, talking about some praise the Lord shit. Hail Mary, fuck her. I never knew her. I probably screw her and dump her body in the sewer. Our Father, my pop stuck up dope spots, big black and mean with the 5th by the Gabardines. What you expected from his next of kin? I'm loco, bro, but ain't no Mexican. I got 9s in the bedroom, Glocks in the kitchen, a shotty by the shower if you wanna shoot me while I'm shitting. The lesson from the Smith & Wesson is depressing. Niggas keep stressing the same motherfucking question. How many shots does it take to make my heart stop and my body start to shake? Ron G, stop.
I be that young, pretty, fly, smooth, glorious kid. A bad boy just like Notorious Big. A Rockefeller like Sean Carter with more game than Ron Harper. The bomb sparker, rapper slash Sean Robber. While y'all be on the corners bumming and high, I be out buying the finest shit money can buy. You wish you was in the position that I'm in. Hot rhyming, diamond shining, autograph signing. My lifestyle is far out. Every week bring a different car out. I go to nightclubs and buy the bar out. Cause I keep cream. I'm large on the street scene. Every time I touch mics you hear all the freaks scream. Yeah, Big L, Harlem's finest. Yeah, the nigga who hold it down for Uptown.
This how we do it out here on this underground real shit, nigga. It's the heat, nigga. Now rewind this motherfucker. You know you can't help it.